Look at it. Isn't it a beauty? So let's talk about the story of how I got this 2022 Camaro LT1, because initially this was not the plan. So I got a kind of crazy story about trying to get my Camaro, and I'm gonna tell you the story of how I ended up with the one that you see here in the pictures and the following pictures of the Camaro LT1, and how I'm glad that I did end up with this LT1. So February this year, I decided that I wanted let's go back. At the beginning of this year, January, I decided I wanted to get a new car. I wanted a two-door sports car, mainly because I just wanted to, it's just me, and I wanted to have an experience of having a two-door sports car, and I felt like this, if I'm gonna do it, this is the time in life I need to go ahead and do it. So with the American cars, you got the Camaro, you got the Mustang, and you have the Challenger. I've always loved the Mustang. I used to love the old body styles of the Mustang when I was a kid, and I always used to love those styles. But the new styles, some of the new styles I don't quite like with the Mustang. But the other thing is I didn't like the interior of the Mustang. The Challenger, I always liked the look of the Challenger, and I actually had bought the Challenger, but I ended up having buyer's remorse, and luckily I was able to get out that deal. Here's my Challenger, picture of my Challenger. I was able to get out that deal and give the car back to the dealership and, get myself out of that situation, luckily. But I still love the look of the Challenger. It was just too big for me. I was coming from an SUV, and the reason I wanted a sports car, I wanted something, coming from an SUV, when I drive cars in the past, I like driving small, compact cars. So you're not going to get that with the Challenger. The Challenger is very long, just like my SUV. So I felt like I was still driving something too long, even though it was a car. So I ended up getting out of that deal, and I was like, I think the Camaro is what I want. Because like the Mustang, I like the size of the Mustang, but what was holding me back from the Mustang was the interior. And doing this search, the Mustang is the only one I did not go test drive and everything. So I haven't test drove it or nothing like that, but I know I didn't like the interior. So I decided in February that I wanted a Camaro. And I was going to do a custom build. And I did a whole custom build. I sent it in, was working with a salesperson, everything. The only thing that held me up was they wanted $1,000 deposit, which that wouldn't have been an issue, but the issue came in the fact that my deposit would be non-refundable. Now, why was this an issue for me? Usually when I want things, I want them right away, so I can start to become a little impatient. And my concern was, if I put that $1,000 deposit and I'm waiting on that vehicle, and then I come across a Camaro that I can get, I'm just going to lose $1,000. So I decided to try to get a Camaro now, because even still, if I would have did the bill, I would have been waiting on 4 months at the earliest, depending. It depends, because some places, the dealerships, they might not have the allocation for it. So, that can be up in the ballpark of how long you're really going to be waiting. And so I was like, I'm not going to pay the $1,000 because, first of all, it's not. If it was refundable, I would have went ahead and did it. But since it was non-refundable, I was like, I'm just going to try to find a Camaro now. So in my build, the things that I had wanted, the color I had wanted was Riverside Blue. And the 3 key things that I wanted in the build was, of course, the 20-inch black wheels. I wanted the sunroof. I really wanted a sunroof because, the Camaro's small on the inside. So I wanted the sunroof to have extra light come in. And then I wanted to get the technology packet because it has the Bose speaker. So those are the 3 things I wanted on there mostly. And then the black appearance package, but they pretty much put that on all the Camaros. So that was some things I was looking for as I started this journey. And I've been to a few different Chevy dealerships and have attempted to get a few different Camaros, and it's been hard. I don't know what it is. Of course, 2022, we're still going through the car issue and everything. Some dealerships are marking up, some are not. But the issue I was finding with the Camaro is all the ones that were in transit already had a deposit on them. So I will go on the Chevy website, look at the inventory, what's coming in, find something that's to my liking, and then contact the dealership, and they already had deposits on them, unfortunately. And then the ones that did not have a deposit on them, I tried to go in. I asked, I'm not paying a market adjustment at all. I'm just not going to pay anything additional. I'm not paying over MSRP for any vehicle. For me personally, yeah, I want a Camaro, but it's not that serious where I'm going to pay an additional couple $1,000s or whatnot on a depreciating asset, because that's what a car is at the end of the day. Even though the resale value is good, it's still a depreciating asset. You know what I'm saying? Even if when you get, offer, they're not factoring in your taxes. So, you already got to pay taxes, you losing money on that, and then you're going to pay a market adjustment on top of that. So you automatically pretty much going to put yourself in negative equity. Now it might be a little different with the Camaro, because doing this process, I pretty much discovered is like the Camaros are hard to get, which kind of factored into how I end up with the LT1. Get there in just a minute though. So doing this search, all the Camaros that's coming in already have a deposit on them. The ones I did find that did not have a deposit on them, the dealership was on that BS as far as trying to do their dealer add-ons, which I don't do dealer add-ons. And doing a market adjustment. And I tried to be clear when I spoke with the salespeople on the phone, like, hey, it's during market adjustment. And then, yeah, no, it's nothing. And you get there, it's all of a sudden it's a market adjustment. So I definitely did get a couple of situations of that happening, unfortunately. I had a whole situation. I was just going to buy a whole base model 4-cylinder, like base. The only thing it had added was the $250 for the black appearance package. I was going to get a base model. They wouldn't let me put down a deposit. I mean, I tried to negotiate with them, and I was like, okay, whatever. Can I put down a deposit? They said they could not put down a deposit. So a couple of days, I'm keeping up with the sales associate, and come to find out they let somebody else put a deposit on. I'm like, how you guys let somebody else put a deposit, but when I was there, you guys wouldn't let me? And so they had another base model come in, different color. I said, okay, I'll put a deposit on that. I put the $1,000 deposit because it was refundable. I put the $1,000 deposit on. I get the thing. They're talking about they're trying to add $1,000 deal on. And I'm like, when we initially was talking about the other car that you guys wouldn't let me put the deposit on, you guys took the dealer add-ons off. So why is it different now? Oh, now we gotta charge you. It's just stuff like that when you gotta deal with these dealerships, and it's so annoying. Just giving a runaround and stuff like that. So I end up getting my $1,000 back from that. So, I mean, at this point, I was pretty much, it was so difficult. And then I found a dealership a little further away, not too further away, but just, not on my side of town, that had 2 Camaros coming in. They had a red one, like the red one, and then they had the wrapper blue. And they had the same exact specs. They had the sunroof. But it was a 4-cylinder. Oh, that's the other thing. In the build that I did, I had chose a 6-cylinder. Okay. So I had chose a V6 for my build. So back to the dealership that I found that had the 2 coming in. They had everything that I wanted. They had the sunroof. They didn't have the color of the car I wanted, but they had the sunroof. They had the technology package. They had the Camaro brand badge on the side. They had the black wheels. So they essentially had everything I wanted, except it didn't have the V6 engine. It would have been a 4-cylinder. But at that time, I didn't realize, when I first started, I didn't realize the 4-cylinder was turbo. So I was like, no, I can deal with that. I mean, I get better gas mileage, 275 horsepower. That's good enough for me, considering what I came from. I came from a Dodge Journey where my horsepower was like 181 or something like that. So I can still get up and go around when I need to on the highway. I mean, I live in Dallas, so it's pretty congested, so it's not like I'm going to be like out here racing. I just need some get up and go when I need to get around people. So I'm like, that, I'm fine with the 4-cylinder. That gets the job done. I mean, I want to have it as a daily car, a daily driver anyway, so I get the better gas mileage. So, I can do the 4-cylinder. We can think about more power later. You have those other things I want. Sometimes you got to sacrifice, especially in this car market, of stuff what you really want. And for me, what was really important was the sunroof and the technology package. The engine is important because I did want a more powerful engine, and that's why I felt I needed to go to a V6. But a turbo 4-cylinder is more power than what I'm having, and so that still satisfied my overall goal of what I was trying to do. So they wouldn't let me put a deposit, but like I said, I was on the list for both of them. I originally got on the list for the red one, and then I thought about it. I was like, I don't want a red sports car. I mean, I like red, but I don't want a red car. But I wasn't at first I wasn't thinking about the Rapid Blue. I thought it was too much for me. I'm pretty much a laid back person, so the Rapid Blue was bright. It's bright. But then I watched a couple of videos of some other people with their Rapid Blue, and I started to like it, and I started to think, having that Rapid Blue color, that'll help me stand out, something different. So I taken a keen to the Rapid Blue color, and I got put on the list for that one. So in the meantime, I'm waiting for this Rapid Blue. The red one came. They contacted me about the red one, but I was I passed on it. And because I'm if they're both the same spec, the blue one should be right around the corner. But it wasn't right around the corner, and it's still not here. So it's been a good month, 6 weeks since that they contacted me about that red one, I believe, and still waiting on that Rapid Blue one. And so now you wonder, well, if you're talking about that one, you're waiting for that one, how did you end up with the LT1? So during this process, I'll just happily at nighttime randomly check the inventory, see if they have anything coming in or whatever. And it's this dealership 10 minutes from me, and I just was checking. And I went on their website, and I noticed the car said in stock. Now, like I said, remember, early in the video I told you, all the Camaros that have in transit will already have a deposit on. So it's very rare that they actually hit the website and say in stock. So that night it said in stock, and it was this gray LT1 V8. And I remember seeing it on the website as in transit. And so I said, okay, I'm going to check the next morning. Next morning, it says in stock. So I said, I know I'm waiting for this Rapid Blue one, but the salesperson said it's delayed. And I heard when it's delayed, that's not good because it wasn't having any date. And then he said the status was saying delayed. So I'm and then I had just read some other colors have been canceled. So I'm thinking, well, is it possible that they're going to cancel this whole order and it's never going to come? And then I'm never going to get my Camaro, and I'm just going to have a sad summer. So I'm let me go up to the dealership, and if they got it, I'm going to try to get it. Even though I was never, ever thinking of an LT1. So I went up there, and I just so happened to run into the same sales guy that this car was a customer canceled order. The lady that was going to get it had ended up getting a Trailblazer. And so he had been kind of trying to hold on to the car for her, waiting for her to respond. And she had finally responded saying she's not going to get it. She got a Trailblazer or whatever. And it just so happened that I ended up dealing with the same salesperson that had it. Because had I dealt with a different salesperson, I might not have been able to get it because I don't think he had told the other salespeople yet that she was not getting the car. So I just lucked up in that sense. And since it was available, I was I'm going to go ahead and try to get it. Now, initially, I did walk out. I had got back all the way back there to finance and everything, but we wasn't talking the same type of numbers. It don't matter how bad I want a Camaro, I'm not going to, do nothing too crazy. So I was trying to walk out and everything, and I was speaking with the sales manager guy. They come back. The sales manager be on the little top desk or whatever. He came down, we were just chatting or whatever. Somehow we brought up the discounts, and it was 2 discounts I was eligible for. And the finance guy told me I couldn't get both of them, but the sales manager was I could get both of them. So I'm okay. And then they had a dealer add-on for $12.79 that included 4 things. Some wheel locks, door guards, tint, and something else. Oh, the Zactec guard paint protection, something like that. Now, usually I don't do dealer add-ons, so I tried to get them taken off, but of course they're not. And I'm kind of in a hard situation because someone's going to come buy the Camaro if I don't get it. So I'm kind of in a hard situation. But by them adding the 2 discounts, it offsetted that. So he brought the $1,279 down to like $939, and then I was able to get my 2 discounts, which totaled $1,250. So I offset that. So I ended up getting the car for like $300 below MSRP that includes with the dealer add-on and factoring in the discount. So it was like the discount offsetted the dealer add-ons, which is why I wasn't tripping so much. I mean, I would prefer they've been off of there, but I also knew what kind of situation I was dealing with. And I've been looking for Camaros for a long time, so the fact that this Camaro was here on the lot and I had the chance to get it, I knew if I did not get it that night, it was going to be gone. So it was like, I never was thinking about getting a V8. V8 never had crossed my mind at all. V6 would have been enough for me. Never thought about getting a V8. For one, I just think V8 and I think gas. Like I said, I wanted my Camaro to be like a daily driver, so that's one thing. And then that jumped up the price. Like the one I was looking at was $33,010. And the V8 with all this stuff, it had the black rims. It had, I'll show you the sticker. Black rims, the dual exhaust tips, which that wasn't originally on my build, but when I do another build, I'm definitely putting that on there. Highly recommend for the $995 to put the dual tips, exhaust tips. It had that, and then the charge for the automatic. So it came to $38,835. I don't have the thing in front of me, but you see on the screen what it was. And so it came down to, hey, you got this opportunity to get the Mustang. I'm sorry, not the Mustang. You have the opportunity to get the Camaro. It's right here and now. You still have the opportunity to get it. You wasn't thinking about a V8, but you got the experience to try a V8. And hey, if you don't like it, you're on the list for the other Camaro. We'll figure that out when it comes. But right now, you got the chance to get a Camaro and see if you like it. And with the way the market is, it's hard to get a Camaro. So if you don't want it, you should be able to get out of it easy. This is what I'm talking, having this conversation in my head. If it doesn't work out or whatever, should be able to sell it and get out of it, and not lose any money, hopefully, because they're not shipping many Camaros. I'm not sure what Chevy deal is with the Camaros, why they're not shipping so many or whatnot, but you'll be able to get out of it. And so that's what ended up happening. Like I said, I was almost gonna walk out the door. He brought about adding my discounts, getting both discounts, brought the dealer price down, and I said they still wasn't where I really wanted to be, but I was like, I'll just go ahead and get it, and I got it, and I'm glad I did. The LT1 has been a fantastic experience. I think for a V8, it's a fantastic value, because as you see, before any of the add-ons, if you get a manual V8, that's $34,000. When you add the automatic, that's basically at $1,595. Still a fantastic value for a V8. 455 horsepower. The dual tips sound amazing. Because I had test drove a V8 before, but they didn't have the dual tips, and it definitely doesn't give that same type of sound when you start it up like the V8 with the dual tips. So that definitely helps the experience a lot, and I just enjoy it. I've enjoyed it. I like the interior. I didn't know how I would feel about the vents and whatnot, but I enjoy the interior. But I'm gonna do a separate video talking about the interior and all that stuff. But yeah, that's how I end up getting this LT1. Now, will I keep it, or will I end up switching to that Rapid Blue on my sunroof? I don't know yet. We will, I'll make a video about that time when it comes, as far as what that decision will be. But all I know is right now, the LT1 has been a pleasure to drive. I just love it. I just love it starting it up. It just sounds great, I just love it. Because one thing about the Mustang I know I don't like is when they rev up in their sound, I don't like the way it sounds. But the Camaro sounds great, and it's been fun. So enjoy this content for the 2022 Camaro LT1. Till next time.